Hello and welcome back. This is Michael from Chasing Saints, and I've got a very special relic to share with you today. This is Saint Josephine Bakhita, and this is a relic that I have been looking for a very long time. And it is a very rare relic to come across, at least in my opinion. In the 2 years that I've been searching, this is the very first time that I've ever had the opportunity to rescue this relic. So I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit. First, talk and show you this beautiful, beautiful theka containing a relic of the flesh of Saint Josephine Bakhita. This is ex corpore, so it's from the body. So this is from the body. And it could be flesh, it could be mix of bone. It's just this type of relic is of her body itself. It is, of course, a first-class relic. You can see here Saint Josephine Bakhita. A very beautiful, beautiful theka. Beautiful relic. Just going to zoom out a little bit here and show you on the back. Okay, so here is the seal. And if you look in here, we're just going to get a little zoom in. Show you this up close. There we go. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. And if you look here on the paperwork, that is the seal, and it matches it perfectly. So this is definitely legitimate paperwork, and a very legitimate and beautiful relic of Saint Josephine. I'll give you a little zoom out here and we'll take a look at this actual paperwork here. Okay, you can see up here at the top the number 3192. So this is 1992 when it was issued. Looks like May 17th, 1992. And this is ex corpore Blessed Josephine Bakhita. At that time, she was a blessed. And you can see the postulator signed it right here. Very beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Saint Josephine's life. She has, like I said, she's a very special saint, and she has a special mission. And this is really one of the reasons why she is so sought after. So Saint Josephine Bakhita was born 1869 and she died in 1947. She was born in Darfur, Sudan. As a child, she was kidnapped by Arab slave traders and endured horrific abuse. She was sold multiple times. She suffered branding, beatings, and torture. In 1883, she was sold to an Italian consul in Khartoum, who eventually brought her to Italy. There she was placed in the custody of the Canossian sisters in Venice. It was in Italy that Josephine encountered the Catholic faith for the first time. Profoundly moved by the message of Christ, she was baptized in 1890, taking the name Josephine. She entered the Canossian Daughters of Charity and professed religious vows in 1896. Her life thereafter was marked by humility, joy, and a deep mystical union with God. Though she had suffered unimaginable cruelty, she forgave her captors and offered her life as a witness to Christ's redemptive love. Numerous miracles and healings have been attributed to her intercession, particularly involving those suffering from spiritual oppression, trauma, and captivity. Saint Josephine is frequently invoked during exorcisms due to her triumph over evil, slavery, and psychological torment, making her a powerful intercessor for those afflicted by demonic bondage. Her radiant peace and spiritual authority are often said to provoke strong reactions in possessed individuals during solemn exorcism rites. Saint Josephine's mystical interior life was marked by visions, a deep devotion to the Eucharist, and supernatural serenity that testified to her sanctity. She was canonized by Pope St. John Paul II in 2000. She was declared patron saint of Sudan and of victims of human trafficking. Her life embodies the power of grace to heal even the most shattered soul. From the depths of slavery to the heights of holiness, Saint Josephine Bakhita stands as a radiant beacon of forgiveness, freedom, and divine mercy. And that is really such a beautiful thing to think about. Here was someone that was captured by Arab slave traders. And if you know the Arabs, if you know Islam, there is no mercy in that faith. There is no mercy if you are a slave and being held by those people. They are very cruel. They are very cruel. They were very cruel in their slavery and how they treated her and being beat severely. God only knows what else she had to endure. And the servitude, just the ill treatment, the cruelty, the evil that was exacted on her. It is mind-blowing to think about. And then for Josephine to turn around, once she had her freedom and entered into religious life after she was baptized, for her to turn around and forgive her captors. Who can say to their brother or their sister, I cannot forgive you, I cannot talk to you, when none of them have done or been through such a thing as Josephine Bakhita did. And for her to turn around with a forgiving, Christ-like heart and to forgive those that did such evil to her, it truly is a lesson for all of us. And so this beautiful relic here, like I said, I was very happy to rescue this. And I was, to be perfectly honest with you, I was a little forlorn because I knew that she was not long for me. And there was a priest that I know that has been searching for many, many long years for this saint, for a relic of this beautiful saint. And he has a very special ministry. And she will be used in that ministry to bring about healing in people's lives. And so I've already promised her away, and tomorrow I will be bringing her to this priest and handing over her relic and her paperwork. And it was kind of funny, to be perfectly honest with you, because after I rescued this, I called up a dear friend, and it was a priest himself, and I said, Father, I've been looking for this relic, and I've got to tell you, I'm really struggling in, letting go, of letting this saint go, and giving this relic to, this priest that I know has been looking for her for such a long time. And I'd really struggled back and forth. Should I give it to him? Should I not give it to him? Should I give it to him? Should I not give it to him? And this priest, God love him, said, Don't do it. Don't give it away. Don't give that relic away. This relic came to you. It is for you. And I resolved that night. I was like, he's right. I am not going to give her away. This is mine. This is my saint. This is my rescued relic. And the following morning, I went and I met with this priest. And I was sitting there after speaking with him for quite some time. And I just felt the Holy Spirit telling me that, no, Michael, she is not for you. She is for this priest. I brought her to you for you to bring to him. And I understood immediately when I heard that from the Holy Spirit. I knew immediately that, he was right. This is not for me. This is for this wonderful priest. And it kind of brought me back to one of my favorite movies, The Song of Bernadette. And I love Saint Bernadette of Subaru. And in the movie, The Song of Bernadette, which is, again, one of my favorite movies, I bet I've watched it well over 150 times in my lifetime. It's a wonderful movie. It's free up on YouTube. If you haven't had a chance, please go watch it. And if you have watched it, rewatch it, because each time you watch it, you'll get something a little different from it. Anyways, there's this scene where Saint Bernadette is dying of tuberculosis, and she's in the convent, and she's laying down on like a little medical cot, and the sisters come up to her and they tell her, Bernadette, why, Mary Bernard is what they were calling her, Sister Mary Bernard, why don't you go back to Massabielle, go to Massabielle, and go to the springs, go to the water, the healing water. And she would say, the water is not for me. The water is not for me. And so one of the ways that I look at the relics that I rescue is I try to look at it in that same light, in that same way. And I'll say the relics are not for me. God has provided for me in such a way that I can, first off, afford to rescue these relics, as they are not free. They are not given to me free. And then second, he brings them into my life and then provides, a priest or a religious or a sister or someone that comes into my life that really needs a particular relic that I've rescued. And then that relic finds their way to that particular person. And I have to resign myself that this is God's will. And once I told Father at the end of our meeting, and I told him, he lit up. His face just lit up. It just glowed. It glowed with this smile and this light in his eyes and in his face. And he said, really? You've got it? And I said, yes, not only do I have it, Father, I said, I will be giving it to you the next time that I see you. And he got all excited. And that right there was the cherry on the cake. And I knew immediately, I knew at that moment that I had done the right thing. I had made the right choice. So let us, dear friends, let us pray here with Saint Josephine Bakhita. Let's ask her to help us in our own lives. If any of you are suffering from a lack of forgiveness in your life, and I am one here, I am one that suffers with this. I have a real problem sometimes forgiving people. I know that's something that is terrible. It's terrible for me to admit this on video, but it's something I really struggle with because someone will hurt me, or a deep family scar or a deep family hurt. And I want to hold on to that anger, and I want to hold on to that, that anger and that resentment, I should say, in my heart. And this is something that we have to let go of. We have to let go of. I remember many years ago, probably 15 years ago, I went to a relic display run by Father Carlos Martins. And he'd come to my local area, and he had 150 saints. And I was just awestruck in the presence of all those saints. And before I went out and saw the saints and the relics and prayed with them, I remember Father Martins said that there are four doors that you have to open before you can receive a healing from God. And one of those doors was forgiveness. He said you have to forgive people. You have to open your heart and forgive them. And it really struck me when he said that all those years ago, that we have to forgive. We may remember and not, just forget about it, but we have to forgive. That's the only way that we can really open ourselves up to receiving all of God's grace. And so let us forgive. Let us forgive everyone, anyone and everyone. And ask St. Josephine Bakhita, if you're struggling with forgiveness, if you're angry at a family member, a loved one, a mother, a father, a daughter, a son, someone in the family, or a friend. You have a friend that betrayed your trust, or just a friend that is no longer a friend and you're really struggling. Ask St. Josephine Bakhita to give you the grace to forgive them, to intercede on your behalf, and ask the Blessed Mother and Jesus to give you that grace to forgive. Because your life, my friends, will be 1,000% better. An absolute 1,000% better. And I experienced this in 1999. It was June 19th, 1999, in fact. I was in Fatima, and I had not spoken to my father for 3 years. And I was 16, and then 3 years go by. I was 19, and I had not spoken to my father. I was angry with him. I hated him. I was so angry at what happened between us. And that night, I did a rosary walk with my sister on my knees around Fatima. And I ended in front of the statue of our Blessed Mother. And while there, I stood up and I said, I forgive Dad. And I felt this weight just come out of me. I mean, it was amazing. It felt like 1,000 pounds. And I grabbed a postcard and I wrote, Dear Dad, I love you. I forgive you. When I get home, I want to call you and speak with you. And I dropped it in the mail, and I felt like $1 million. I felt like I just won the greatest lottery in the world. And I returned home, and I got back to living life. And it was at the end of that week that I found out that Dad died. And he died within a few hours of when I forgave him in Fatima. And his body hadn't been found for almost a week. So I was absolutely devastated, but it was amazing that God chose that moment. Of all moments, he chose that moment when I forgave Dad. When my sister and I did that rosary walk for him on our knees. And God took him at the young age of 48 years old. And so we must forgive. We must forgive. We absolutely must forgive. And not just forgive others, we must forgive ourselves. Because that's how we truly open ourselves up to Christ. So I'm going to end this video here. And later on, hopefully I can make a video on St. Josephine Bakhita's life. And try to bring it to life a little bit and show you what she went through and what she accomplished in life. So my dear friends, may God bless you. Remember, Jesus is Lord. Mary is our mother, and the saints are our friends. God bless.